Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to look at the Victory 3D HVs as far as speed, how fast these arrows are. So I've set these up with just boning air vanes, the F-nocks that come with the arrows, the pin bushings. I've put 80 grain points in. These arrows are about 28.5 inches. The bow I'm shooting is a PSE Supra target bow. It's the long version, 40 inches. It's set at 60 pounds at 28.5 inch draw length, which is what all my bows should be. IBO on this bow, and luckily I have the tag, is 327 feet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to compare the 3D HVs to the Victory VAP arrows that I shoot for target, and we're also going to compare them to the gold tip velocity arrows that I basically do all my testing with. So let's just take a shot and see what sort of speed we get. So these arrows are still too long for me. They've got an 80 grain point and they shot at 299 feet per second. So now we're going to compare it to the Victory VAPs. These are 350 spine. The 3D HVs were a 400 spined arrow with an 80 grain point. These are 140 grain point. They're 166. The 3D HVs are 204, so it's a little bit wider. Your 3D HVs really 3D arrow, and the top 3D shooters at the local club here shoot the 3D HVs, and they swear by them because they think they're so much faster, and they shoot really well, they tell me. So this is the first time I've shot them, so with the VAP 350, it shoots at 257 feet per second. So the 3D HV is 40 feet per second faster, which is very significant as far as I'm concerned. So this is the gold tip velocity arrow, and now I've had these forever and I used to shoot these for 3Ds. These have a 90 grain point. They're a 400, so they should be very similar. They've got a pin bushing at the back end here. They should be very similar to the Victory 3D HVs, because this is the gold tip speed arrow. I can't remember what speed I got out of it when I tested this bow with these arrows, but these are the arrows I use for all my testing, and they weigh 327 grains. (278 feet per second). So the 3D HV is 20 feet per second faster than the gold tip velocity. So that to me is extremely important if you're guessing distances. Now the PSE engineer, head engineer at PSE, said to me it also affects your accuracy. So what he said is the faster the arrow can get off the bow, so the less travel time in the air, so the less time that you can move your hand from the time you press the trigger, the more accurate you're going to be. Now the reason why people shoot heavy points for target archery is because you get less wind drift with a heavier point. So if it's a day like today, then an 80 grain point should theoretically be as accurate, if not more accurate, than a 150 grain point or a 200 grain point. But if there's strong wind, that's where the arrows with the heavier point should drift less at the target. So that's all the theory of it. So with all that being said, these arrows are for 3D archery, where you shoot one arrow and you guess the distance. So for me, the 20 feet per second difference between the velocity and the 3D HV is massive, so I would be all for it. And between my target arrows and my 3D HV, it's 40 feet per second, so that's massive. So now if you're shooting 3D, which is marked, I'm going to say very little difference, because you can set the sight to the exact pin and shoot the shot, so it gets more to good shooting. But with, you know, like when you're judging distances and you're shooting up or downs, and you've got to make cut differences, and that's when you're going, well, I'm shooting downhill and it's a 40-meter shot, so I've really got to set my sight at 37. The slightly faster arrow means less pin adjustment. So you could make a case that for field shooting, the slightly faster arrow will be more accurate if there's no wind. So I suppose the question I've got is, how accurate is the 3D HV compared to something like a VAP arrow in, you know, the thickness, because a thinner arrow should have less wind drift than a thicker arrow. Well, for me, the top archer at the local 3D shot club shot the 3D HVs last weekend at 50 meters in a world archery event, so like 50 meters on a small face, and his score was 686 points out of 720, which is a very good score. Now this is like, he's been shooting for 1 year, young guy, and for me that's a great score. So and that's with the 3D HV, so that's a light point arrow. So the next video I'm going to do, I'm going to actually shoot my Victory VAP arrows against the 3D HVs at 18 meters and have a look at the group difference, just to compare these arrows. Now the other thing I'm going to make a comment about is the reliability, as far as how durable these arrows are. The 3D HV has got a thinner wall than your VAP, because your VAP is thinner. The 3D HV is lighter, so once again thinner wall than a Victory VAP. The VAP I've found extremely durable, so I've had them for probably 2 to 3 years. I haven't busted any of them. I'm shooting the same arrows that I have since I've been started. So you can see my VAPs, if I just grab it out, these arrows are probably about 3 years old. You can see the writing starting to, and I shoot these for comp, and yes, I do shoot the 3rd level for comp. I've also got Elite, which I use, but I haven't found any difference. Now 3D HV comes in 2 models. One's the Sports, which is the cheaper one, and one's the Pro. The Pro is 0.001, the Sports 0.005. Once again, I haven't seen much difference. These arrows are all spine aligned, which means they flex them to make sure the spine is accurate as far as when you set your fletchers. So all my 3D HVs, I'll just grab them, are spined, so the cock feather is aimed through that line there. There's a little line there which says spine align, so they're set through that line. Now I've fletched my arrows all different positions just because I've forgotten at times and I haven't found any difference in accuracy, but they are all spine aligned, and that's unique to Victory. So with that, if you're looking at new arrows, now the 3D HVs are similar price to the Victory VAPs. So really the Victory VAP is your target arrow, the 3D HV is your 3D arrow. They've also got the V-Force, which is your basic recreational hunting arrow, which is cheaper. So that's a 246 at a standard weight. So, but with that, the question is, can I shoot these for target? Now, I think I probably could, but with a thinner wall, you're more likely to have impact where the arrow comes and hits the side of the arrow and crack the arrow. So you're more likely to have cracks and damage in the arrows if you're grouping tightly with the 3D HV. Now with 3D HV, you do have the option to put pins in the back end. I've just gone for the uni bushings that come with it, because I figure if I'm shooting 3D, I'm only shooting one shot, so less likely to do Robin Hoods. And these are, the pin bushings are pretty durable. You can see the glue there, which I obviously haven't got rid of yet because I only made them last night. So with that, let's go and compare the difference in shooting between the VAPs to the 3D HVs. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and the more you shoot, the better you're going to shoot, regardless of which arrows you pick. So let's say you're shooting the V-Force or the VAPs or the 3D HVs. If you put more time into your shooting, you're going to get better results than just trying to buy yourself some points. But 40 feet per second is so significant to me. There's no question that I'd be shooting these arrows for 3D archery at the local club when their 3D shoot comes up. Thanks for watching. Bye.